Hi, everybody. Janet Eichorst here. I'm recording an introduction to this podcast because I didn't properly introduce my guest. Her name is Charlie Marie, and she's a musician. I met her several years ago through some synchronistic events involving retreats, and we share about it in the podcast because the podcast is really about heart opening and it's about trusting the nudges. And Charlie shares about the experience of creating this new album. And that's the other thing I didn't do. I just started talking about the new album without properly introducing it. It's called Signs, and it comes out June 5th, 2026, a few days from now. So in the podcast, Charlie shares this kind of walkabout experience where she has this massive heart opening. It's beautiful. She's vulnerable, and I hope you join us. Hi, everybody. Janet Eichorst here, and I am here with Charlie. Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Janet.
We're doing something kind of different. I got a nudge to try something new, and so that's what we're going to do today. I don't know Charlie well. We have a history, and I got this nudge to invite her in and talk to her on a podcast and see what happens. And we talked about synchronicity being the topic, and I don't know if we'll stay with that. The other thing that I really know is that I see Charlie as a success story, and I feel really happy that I have gotten to play a role in her life. And that, to me, when we get that heart-to-heart connection with people and we get to create and do things that we really want to do that are aligned on that soulful heart mission sort of way, there's nothing better than that. So let's chat, shall we?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Janet. Because for me, your presence has played a pivotal role for me. And I talked about that retreat with Kalina and you, and it just changed my life.
Yeah. So you want to share a little bit about how you even got to that retreat? We have not rehearsed anything. We're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants here and allowing that creation to just work here. So this is all news to me.
Yeah, so in 2021, I had released my debut album, Ramble On, and I received success. And it was actually a time where I felt a lot of heaviness and fears coming up. And I tried traditional therapy and yoga and different things, but none of them really worked. And then I decided to go on this spiritual journey in 2022 to find myself. And I took a break from music. And right before I went on this journey, my dad passed away. And so on this journey, I actually spread his ashes throughout the country. Mm-hmm. And along the way, I would receive breadcrumbs from the universe. And I don't see things, and we're all unique beings. And for me, I get feelings, and I get this just inner guide. And I get nudges to follow things that unfold for me. And I ended up at this retreat in Sedona. Sandra Walters had put it on. And I remember you being there and Kalina being there. And I remember being at lunch, and there was this woman sitting by herself, and I went and sat next to her, and her name was Janet. And then we shared some stories, and I ended up feeling really connected and safe with her. So for the rest of the retreat, I spent time with this woman named Janet, and she ended up sharing how her father had also recently passed away. And I told her how I was planning on coming back to Sedona again and going to a different retreat. And she told me if I wanted to, I could visit her in Prescott. And I ended up taking her up on that offer. And again, I feel like I met all these earth angels, and I feel like Janet was an earth angel. And then I was at her house, and I was telling her about how I had listened to this Kalina video that she had. It was a part of the supplement package for Sandra Walters retreat. And in that video, when I listened to her light language, I could feel these heavy energies coming off of me. And I had never really had that experience before. And it made me intrigued, and she mentioned how you and Kalina were putting on this retreat, and you happened to have space available. And the way that it all clicked together, like I had booked a retreat in Mount Shasta, but it was like for the week after, or like, yeah, around a week later. So I could actually go and participate at this retreat. And I ended up doing it. And then, like I said, there was this pivotal point at the end of the retreat where I gave you and Kalina a hug. And for the first time, it makes me feel kind of emotional. But for the first time, I felt like unconditionally loved. And it's like ever since then, I can feel that inside of me. And it's not always there, but I just feel really grateful. And I'm an emotional kid. So, but I just want to say thank you.
Oh, wow, everybody take a breath on that. Like I feel so much love for you, Charlie, and I so appreciate you being vulnerable and real here. It's so beautiful. There's nothing better than having that heart opening. And it's like, for me, it's like God is here, love is here. It's real and it's for me. And with that awakening, that everything shifts. The colors are brighter, the world is clearer. How was that for you? Like
it's been like a lifeline for me now, because it's like for so long I just felt disconnected, and I had tried for so long to feel that in the world, and I never felt it in the world. No matter how much success I ever had, or how much money, or how much fame, none of it ever mattered. And
yeah.
that's why, like, I feel like since that, I've dedicated my life to doing inner work, because I've realized that I need to love myself more and more every day to deepen that connection, because I'll come across parts of me that come up and just like don't believe the love that I feel deep inside. And I just keep working with it, and it's gotten a lot easier, and I feel like it's all getting brighter every day. And the biggest thing I keep being shown is like my mind is always trying to protect me, but it doesn't. Sometimes it's running off old stories. And when I just show up, I'm shown that like it's nothing like my mind ever tells me. It's always better. And it's been a miraculous journey. And like I said, though, me like that retreat, that ending has been a pivotal point in my life. And I'll always be so grateful for both of you and Mount Shasta and nature. Like nature was a part of this also. Like I don't think I would have made it here without nature. And it's just been really nice, because like you said, now I'm able to be present, not all the time, every single moment of the day, but I am able to be present. I can take my dogs for a walk, and I can feel like the trees, and I can feel the breeze, and I can see the vibrancy of the grass and listen to the birds sing. And for a long time, I was caught in my mind, caught in my stories, and I couldn't even be in the moment I was in. But things have really shifted for me.
That's so beautiful. And I hope that everybody listening or watching can listen about themselves, and know that if you've had experiences like this before, how they kind of get amplified when I feel your heart, I feel my heart expanding. And so it's an opportunity, and just like, let's just take a few breaths here. Let's just pray a little bit, shall we? And just like when we focus on our hearts, and I love the one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. And what do you feel when Charlie shares about this amazing synchronous journey that she's had? and allow yourself to open up to more magic for you. This is not abnormal. This is normal. That pure life force energy, it's the most natural, organic thing for us to open our hearts and open up our beings to this brilliant, beautiful, unconditionally based power that flows through us as us. And I love being inspired by other people's journey. So I hope, that's my great hope, that other people are inspired and that your heart, you specifically, your heart opens a little more or a lot more, and that you have a greater experience of whatever that power is for you personally. It's always here. It can't not be. And it can get brighter with focus on it. And I can't tell you how fun this is for me, because you're basically telling, my history. I supported Sandra Walter's crystalline convergence for 2 years, and that was just a out of this world sort of experience. And so you came to it the year that Kalina and I were on stage with the other women, right? Is that the one? Yeah. So that was super fun. That was a way that Sandra brought a bunch of women together to kind of amplify the field, right? And hopefully have these profound awakenings, upshift our vibrational frequency, and Janet is a friend of mine, the Janet she's talking about. And she's helping me walk through some things today, which is a beautiful story and kind of an interactive thing. And, ending up in Mount Shasta, I mean, that retreat that we did, that Colleen and I did back in 2022, was just kind of a last minute thing, because there was work to be done on the mountain. And so Kalina's like, well, let's do a retreat. And that way we can get, our expenses paid for, ideally. That's right. For doing the travel and doing all the work that we do with all the collective, all of reality, the earth, and dimensionally we get to do that. So it was just, when I look at all the synchronicities, how beautiful that all is. And I loved when I got to preview the album. And it was just like, I love Ponderosa Pines. I mean, I lived in Prescott for 25 years, right? And my house was in a forest of Ponderosa Pines. Like, they're my besties, right? And that song, what's the one about Alaska?
Aspens in Alaska.
Oh, the start of that song, the vibe of that thing, I'm just like, I can feel myself I could feel it, right? It just was here for me. Whatever you want to call life force energy, God, whatever you want to call that force. And that song in particular, I could feel how the frequencies and vibrations affected me. Profound. And it feels like just a giant, big hug and being held by this level of unconditional love. And it has that level of unity consciousness in it. And that's just the one song. That's the one that, but it was interesting because I knew a little bit of your journey. So as I'm listening to this, I was like, oh my God. And that's where she was at the retreat in Shasta. And then she went to Alaska. And then, it was just really personalized for me. So it was like super fun. And it helped me reflect upon some of the really cool experiences I've had.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even have ended up in Alaska if I hadn't been in Santa Monica on a trail and seeing these people on trail rides and thinking to myself, oh, I miss being like on a horse and going on a trail ride. And then that afternoon, when I'm stuck in like LA traffic, this woman, Kim, that is living in Alaska at the time, calls me and tells me how I should go visit her. So that's why I even went to Alaska. And then I met this girl there named Mia, and we went on this little adventure to Talkeetna, and we had all these really wild, awesome experiences that I'll always remember. And because of her, I met her cousin that lives in Montana. And it's just like everything that would unfold, I can't make any of this up. And it was just because during that time, I really felt like I had nothing left to lose and I was just going with it. And I would just trust what I felt, and it would lead me to
Mm.
people and experiences that kind of took my breath away and that changed my life. And that's why with the record, it feels like you kind of get to go on some of the journey with me in a way. And I didn't realize that until I've been listening to the record again lately, because when I listen to it, it makes me feel like I'm back in Alaska, and it makes me feel like I'm at that retreat again with you and Kalina, and my heart is being like opened again. And I'm seeing the light inside of me, and that the light that's inside of all of us. And it's just unbelievable to be able to have these types of experiences with people, and kind of to know that miracles and magic
Mm.
is real and almost happens every day if you're aware of it. And yeah, I'm just really happy to be where I'm at in this moment. And I'm just really happy that I get to talk to you about these experiences and hear more about behind the scenes, and about when you and Kalina were, doing the retreat, and some of the things I didn't necessarily know. And it's just really nice to hear your perspective.
Yeah. Colleen is really fun. I mean, we did oh gosh, last fall we did a grid work mission where we, went out to the four corners, and just the synchronicities in that are just, I mean, I could talk for a long time on just some of the some of the stories. Boy, I got stories. Um, yeah. So gosh, there's so many different questions and different things I could say here. I do want to just kind of point out that I truly know about the magic and how we all get those breadcrumbs. And sometimes it looks pretty dramatic. I mean, for me in my life, I think about just something I did, was it last weekend or the weekend before? I've told the stories to some of my friends, and they're all just like, wow, right? And to me, it's life. And whether it looks sort of dramatic or whether it's just a level of simplicity, whether you're guided to go left when you usually go right, and then you end up running into somebody, like it can be so easy to not pay attention to the guidance we get and how powerful it is. And those nudges, a lot of times, it's not like a burning bush. A lot of times it's subtle. And so the more that we hear can encourage you to consider those subtle directional shifts, perhaps. I mean, we are in such a cataclysmic shifting. It's kind of challenging to keep up with it all right now because there's so much change happening. And that guidance is always here. And we all have that level of magic in our lives every day. Every day. And so, can we stay open to that more? Can we invite and radiate and be more of that true essence that we really are? That's it, right? That makes life worth living in my world. So it's just amazing. So I wanted to ask you, because you've sent, I would love to hear this because I don't get an opportunity to have like direct convos with people around this. I mean, I do, but I got you here and I'd love to hear this from you specifically. So tell me, there's a couple comments you made about some of the podcasts that I'd put out there. And if you could just describe how you experience that or what that is. And this will help people, my hope is, to listen better and to actually receive, because we are all radiating energetics. And that's my specialty, is to bring potentiality in for people And it seems that you get that.
Yeah, I really enjoy your energy and your message. I find it to be very grounding. And sometimes, like you said, being here, it can feel like even though I know how to center and I know how to do this and that, but sometimes when I go out in the world, sometimes I feel like this. And so I enjoy listening to your podcast because when I listen to it, it helps me go back to my
Mm,
heart
mm,
and it helps me feel grounded. And sometimes it'll answer a question I didn't even know I had.
mm,
And I always feel better
mm,
after I listen to one of your podcasts and more empowered. And so this is why I continue and I look forward to when I see you put a podcast out. And
mm.
also, like you mentioned, they're not very long. They're only 20 minutes long.
Yeah,
So I can spare 20 minutes. And like I said, I could also listen to you for 3 hours. So I mean, yeah, I just get excited. They helped me. They've
uh,
been helping me all along. And I continue to go back to people that have been holding
mm,
this. It's like a space of remembrance. And sometimes I forget, but if I tune into one of your podcasts, then I remember again. And that's why I keep going back because I want to remember when I forget.
that's so beautiful. And thank you for sharing that because that's my hope. I mean, my hope is that everybody finds their empowerment and more of their organic, natural gifts, and they can have a better time here. For F's sake, man. There's a lot going down in our world today, and we carry such power within us that makes such a difference. Wow, it's funny. So I'm always watching the clock. It's 21 minutes, and I will put this out. What I just it's like bless everybody, man. I'm so happy to be here with Charlie today. And I would so I hope you listen. When tell me when your album's coming out. Let's just talk about that.
It's coming out June 5th.
And where can people find it?
Spotify, Apple, iTunes. If you want a physical copy, you can go to Bandcamp and you can basically check out my website, which will lead you to all of those places, which is charliemariemusic.com.
Excellent. So I would love to hear, and you will get from this podcast here, you'll be like, that's what they were talking about. And she even has a song named Kalina on there, which was just like, there. So it's just like, it's fabulous. So, how would you invite people? Do you have any tips about listening? Like, if they're going to listen to that, if like say, and you just sent it to me and it's like, here you go. And you told me his backstory. I was like, oh, cool, I'm in, right? But if somebody like, how is there any tip you would like to give somebody about how to listen to that might help them receive and experience?
I like listening to it when I drive. This is how I am.
I
Like,
love
I
it.
just like to drive and I like to drive on back roads. So, I mean, if you really want to enjoy it, like, listen to it while you're driving on back roads, roll your windows down and just go on the journey.
Uh,
And yeah, it's just, I'm just so happy that it's actually here too. Like it's finally in, physicality and people can finally like share it and enjoy it with me. But yeah, that's how I like to listen to music. I like to just drive around and enjoy.
yeah, it's funny because my car, when it's hooked up to my device, right, it'll just keep playing it. And so I've listened to it a lot driving. And then I was like, wait, who is that? What is that? And then I get this sensation. So it's fantastic. So yeah, so check out her music. The 5th, it's coming up right around the corner. And man, this was fun.
Yes, thank you so much, Janet. I'm just so happy we like reconnected again. And like, I didn't know, I just wanted to share it with you because you were a part of it. And I'm just happy that you liked it and it resonated with you. And again, it's always nice to talk to you and connect. And I just feel very blessed to, yeah, again, being in your presence. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's wonderful. I'm happy that we've reconnected, and this is super fun. And I hope people have a beautiful heart opening and they feel better now than when they started. So,
Yes.
much love and many blessings. Till next time. Thanks
Thank
everybody.
you.